Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. So my name is Michelle, and this reading is going to focus on the winter solstice. So that is happening here in the Northern Hemisphere, December 21st. So winter solstice, I kind of like this time of year only because it means that there's more daylight to come. So right now we're looking at the darkest day of the year up here. And now once we pass the solstice, now we're going to start gaining more daylight. But this is also the sun entering the sign of Capricorn. And so welcome. And happy birthday, Capricorn. So Capricorn is a sign about strategy, coming up with some sort of game plan. So this would be a really great time to think through what it is that you want to do strategically long term. Don't think of what kind of short-term gains can you get. Capricorn is very focused on what is that long game? What is it that you're trying to achieve in your life overall? And then really taking that step back to say, okay, that's my ultimate goal. How do I get there? And that's what Capricorn represents here. So it's a little bit about Capricorn. Again, we're going into the sun sign of Capricorn. And so there's a couple things happening all around the same time. So as the sun enters Capricorn, and we have our solstice, the sun is also going to be in a trine to both the moon and Jupiter. Jupiter's retrograde. And so being in a trine does indicate that there's a natural flow of energy here. And so with the sun and the moon, this would be highlighting your emotions. When you're talking about Jupiter's expansion. But because Jupiter's retrograde, you're going to feel this more internally than anything else. And so from an emotional standpoint, again, thinking of your long-term goals, what is it that you're trying to achieve? What is it that you want? What emotionally fulfills you in life? And really here, this is what's being highlighted with this aspect. And so really just kind of think about that as I talk through some of the other elements that are happening here. And so we've got the sun in a trine with the moon and Jupiter, retrograde. We also have the sun conjunct Mercury, also retrograde. And so Mercury retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, they're really close to each other here. That's what the conjunction means. And so the energy here is really blended. And so the sun is highlighting anything that we might be processing, any kind of communication, and really probably more an emphasis on how we're processing information since this is a retrograde. And you're going to feel this more internally than anything else. And if you are like me, this retrograde is really hitting you in probably all of the really wacky ways. So when you think about, you've got an emphasis here on expanding whatever emotionally fulfills you. And now we're throwing into the mix how you process information. And so again, this also is coming down to your emotions. So how are you processing everything? And so that's what's also being highlighted. This one's an interesting one. So the sun is also conjunct Mars. And the reason that is interesting is because the sun is in Capricorn, Mars isn't. Mars is in Sagittarius, so they're out of sign with each other. So Mars being in this fire sign, this passion, I want to go, I want to do things. Sagittarius can act impulsively. And so there's a lot of kind of that energy of I want to go, I want to do. It might be a time for you to cut things out of your life. And so when we start thinking about all the emotions and everything else that emotionally fulfills us. Is there anything in our life right now that doesn't emotionally fulfill us? Is there something here that you need to release? Because Mars can be this separating power. It goes after what it wants, but it also releases what it doesn't. And so there is that energy happening here. If it's not that you need to release something, it's more about what kind of actions do you want to take that further that goal that you're establishing for yourself. So that emotional fulfillment, that long-term goal that you're seeking, what is it about all of this? Because this energy is all happening really around the same time. We have two more here. And so the sun is also going to be in a sextile to Saturn. So what does this mean? And so Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. So Saturn is actually the ruler of Capricorn. And so when you think about Capricorn coming up with a plan, doing the work, being very strategic in what you do, that's Saturn. That's the same energy of Saturn. That's why it's the ruling planet. And so here, Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. So let's think about ultimately, what is it that you want? What kind of goals do you want to achieve? When I think about Pisces in this respect, Pisces is the last sign in the Zodiac. And so it has learned all the lessons of all the prior signs. And it's kind of morphed into almost this like mature way of being, this kind of tapped into the collective energy, understanding how everybody works, even if that isn't exactly who you are or how you want to be. There's some sort of connection here with this kind of world around you at large, and how what you're doing, the goals that you're coming up with yourself, how does that play out in all areas of your life? And so this emphasis here on kind of everything around you. One thing that we also have going on here, so the sun is in a sextile to Saturn in Pisces, but it's actually in a square to Neptune in Pisces. And so Neptune in Pisces, let's start there. Neptune, these are your dreams. These could be dreams to the point of losing that sense of reality. That's definitely a Neptune energy, but sun is in a square to that. And so what this tells me is that there might be some obstacle or challenge or something here that you might need to confront when it comes to just what is it that you're trying to accomplish here? What are your dreams? What are your goals? How are you going about getting them? Are they realistic? That might be highlighted here as well. You might be starting to understand, okay, yes, I wanted this, I'm going to make it up, this dream job making $1 million a year. But based on the other goals that I've set for myself, that's not achievable because I've decided that maybe I want to, I don't know, go into some sort of service industry, and that specific service industry doesn't pay as well. And so that $1 million a year salary is probably out of reach because those aren't in alignment with each other. And so something like that would be highlighted here. And that's just a hypothetical, but you can kind of see where all of this is going. So really thinking about your long-term emotional strategy. How does that fit into all areas of your life? Is there any goals that you need to kind of modify or even let go of? That would be that Mars energy again. So what here is kind of transforming for you? What is it that is, because all of this is being highlighted. So really thinking critically about what is needed, what's not needed, and then coming up with a plan. And so now I want to get into all of the signs here. So focusing on your rising sign, your sun sign, and your moon sign. I do have instructions. I don't know if you're familiar with how to use it, but there's a lot of free software out there. As long as you know your birth time and your birthplace, then you're able to figure out exactly what all of these mean. I do everything based on whole signs, and so when I get into this here, it's going to be based on whole signs. So starting with Aries and Aries rising, so this is going to impact your 4th house of home. And so when you think about that, emotional needs, maybe anything that you need to release, what is it about your home life that really fulfills you? Is there something here that maybe you need to modify? Is there, maybe it's you want to remodel a home, maybe it's you want to expand your home, or you want to, I don't know, a goal for yourself might be to move into a bigger home, or maybe even downsize if that's what you want to do. And so really thinking through from that home perspective, what is it that you want? And this is where understanding specifically your sun and your rising sign is who you are, how people see you. Your sun sign is what you need to feel fulfilled. And so really taking a look at those two in conjunction with each other. So Aries, let's just say in conjunction with Virgo. And that would be your 9th house. And so that would be maybe you want to expand your home life, or maybe you want to do something else with education and your home, and like kind of intertwining the two topics together. When it comes to your moon sign, that would be how you're emotionally processing everything. This would be definitely more internally, how you're feeling, what's happening here. And so again, going back to Aries, this would be focusing around your dream home. What kind of home do you want for yourself? What would emotionally fulfill you there? And again, like whatever it is that you need to release, all of that's being highlighted during this winter solstice. And for Taurus and Taurus rising, so this is impacting your 5th house. So this would be your passions, your hobbies, short-term romances, kind of that playful, joyful type of energy that just, it's very lighthearted type of energy. And so if you think about an emotional goal for yourself, is there a passion project that you're trying to get off the ground? Is there something here connected with that? Are the goals that you've set for this passion project, are they realistic? Are you able to come up with some sort of concrete, tangible plan in order to get there? Because that is Capricorn energy. Let's come up with something tangible and let's use that to get to where we need to be. And so really that's probably emphasized here more than anything else. It could be about maybe short-term romance or even children if you have something in alignment there. But I see this more as kind of those passions, because I don't know what kind of long-term goals you set for a short-term relationship. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. So moving on to Gemini and Gemini rising. So this is going to impact your 6th house. Your 6th house, daily routines. Daily routines include diet, exercise, work, maybe even pets are highlighted here. But this is really an opportunity for you to think about what it is that you do on a daily basis, and what is it that you want to expand, what do you want to grow, what emotionally fulfills you, and really coming up with a plan to make more time for that in your life. And so that's really highlighted here. And for Cancer and Cancer rising, so this is impacting your 7th house. 7th house, one-to-one relationships. So this would be long-term relationships. So here a little bit different than the 5th house because this is a long-term relationship. So what kind of goals do you have for if you're in a relationship or you want to be in some sort of long-term relationship? What does that look like from an emotional standpoint? And so a lot of times in my tarot, I'll talk about, don't focus so much on the characteristics of the person, focus on the type of relationship you're looking for, because you can meet somebody who checks all the boxes on paper and then you go and you try to make it work and there's just something's missing. And so this is really coming down to then, what is it that you want from an emotional standpoint? What kind of emotional connection are you looking for? And so really thinking through what kind of relationships that you want. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just romantic. It can be other areas of your life as well. And so think through all of those interpersonal relationships that you have with other people. This is also maybe about contracts, negotiations, some sort of legal matter. That could also be highlighted here, but probably more often than not, it's going to be about those one-to-one relationships. And for Leo and Leo rising, so this is going to impact your 8th house. And so 8th house here is other people's money. This is transformation. This could be power issues. Any kind of, somebody's been exerting any kind of control over you, that would be highlighted here. So there's a lot of, what is it that you need to break free from? What is it, and maybe I'm taking it from two different approaches here, because one would be when it comes to your 8th house, let's focus on just that transformation. What needs to change here? What is it about you that you want to change? Because maybe you're not feeling emotionally fulfilled in some sort of respect. Does it have to do with money? Does it have to do with somebody else's money? Is somebody using money to control you? And that would probably be more on the negative side of this energy. The positive side of the energy would be, okay, I am trying to establish myself in my career and I am trying to create these long-term goals for myself. And so from a financial standpoint, what does that mean? Am I investing in something and I'm using other people's money? Am I looking for investors and I want them to invest in me, in my business, and something like that? Is it anything along that line, like maybe even like a bonus? Whatever it is, it does have to do with other people's money. So just keep that in mind. And this would be an instance where, let's say your 4th house was also impacted here. So if we have Leo, maybe you're a Leo sun, Aries rising. This could indicate that you're going to take out some sort of mortgage, or you want to take out some sort of mortgage or maybe home equity loan to expand your home. And so that would be a way that you would use the two energies together. For Virgo and Virgo rising, so this is impacting your 9th house. And so 9th house, higher education, philosophy, just expansion, growth. I mean, this is definitely Jupiter energy. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and this 9th house energy is very similar to that. And so what is it that you want to do here? And really from your perspective, because you're very focused on details, what are the details of this? Come up with that plan for yourself and really think through all of the ramifications for all the decisions you're going to make, because you're going to do it anyway. That's just naturally who you are. That's your sign. And so coming up with that plan, what is it that you want to grow? And then what actions do you need to take in order to get there? So really coming up with that step by step, kind of those markers along the way that say, yes, I made it, let me keep going, those types of things. For Libra and Libra rising, so this is going to impact your 10th house. 10th house is career and public reputation. And so what is it you want to do from a career standpoint? Is there something here that you want to change from a career? Are you looking to grow or expand, or maybe even release something from a career standpoint? And I'm just thinking, what if you had 2 jobs and one of those jobs was really fulfilling and the other one wasn't? Is now the time to get rid of that other job so that you can make time for something else in your life, because you're trying to maybe take the main job that you have and you're really trying to expand it. You really want to grow it because you're getting something out of it from an emotional standpoint. And for Scorpio and Scorpio rising, so this is going to impact your 11th house. Your 11th house is the community, if I could talk, the people that you surround yourself with. You just enjoy their company. This would be, when you think about what it is, how do you see yourself in the community? What kind of role do you want to play in this community? How do you kind of further your emotional involvement in the community? Do you get more involved? Do you make more time to spend with these people? What is it about this that really is kind of has you focused on, okay, I need to come up with some sort of long-term goal. I've maybe not spend as much time with my friends as I would want to because I'm very focused on work, or I'm very focused on something else in my life. Like maybe a romantic relationship is taking up all my time, and I really need to kind of balance the two so that I do make time for my friends, that I don't lose those connections. And so that could be highlighted here. And for Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising, this is impacting your 12th house. And so your 12th house would be, this is all about those things that are hidden. This can be secrets. In some ways, on the negative side, it's more of like a self-undoing. It could even just be maybe something with prisons or hospitals, something that takes you out of the limelight, something that really kind of has you behind the scenes. So whatever happens in the 12th house, from a physical standpoint, you're behind the scenes. From an emotional and maybe just a life standpoint, this could be happening subconsciously, where you're making some changes to yourself. You're really thinking through, okay, what needs to end, because it is the house of endings. So what needs to end here in order for me to get exactly what I want? What chapter just finally needs to close? Because that is coming through pretty clearly here. Do you need more time to focus on yourself? A lot of times that 12th house energy can indicate that you want to be alone. Maybe you're not making enough time for yourself. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to say, you know what? One night a week, I am going to focus, and maybe I'm going to do yoga, or I'm going to do something that really I enjoy doing and that I can do on my own, just to have that me time. And for Capricorn and Capricorn rising, so this is impacting your first house. Your first house, the house of self. So this would be your physical appearance. This is how others see you as well. And so what is it that you want here? What about your physical appearance is emotionally fulfilling for you? Or is there something here that you want to modify so that it becomes emotionally fulfilling for you? And so really thinking through right now, what is it that you want here? Maybe what you need to change. And just because it's this time of year, so we know January 1st, a lot of people kind of jump on the let's work out and let's eat healthy bandwagon. And so I can see that happening here because it's impacting your first house. First house indicating that you maybe want to change your appearance. And so, yes, I want to come up with a plan to change my appearance, but what needs to go away? Is it the way that I'm eating? Is it going out with my friends all the time? Or maybe unhealthy eating? What is it that needs to go in order for you to get exactly what you want? And for Aquarius and Aquarius rising, so this is impacting your second house. So this would be your personal finances. Thinking about what it is about your personal finances. Are you saving for a rainy day? Is that a goal that you have, that you want to be able to save more money to do just maybe more vacations, more travel in the upcoming year? Maybe it's saving up for a down payment on a house. Whatever it is, it does impact your personal finances. And this is also another one that's really easily correlates to another house here. And so when you think about what it is that you want to do with your personal finances, look to your sun or rising sign as the other one to see kind of what's happening here. And then again, moon sign, how are you processing all of this? For Pisces and Pisces rising, so this is impacting your third house. So this would be communication, short distance travel, siblings. And so thinking about there's so many topics that are covered with the third house. So this could really be anything. Is there something here with your communication? Is there something like, okay, I'll use me as an example. So I'm a Sagittarius sun, I'm a Capricorn rising, but as a Sagittarius sun, specifically when I was younger, does still happen now, but more when I was younger, I was very blunt, very direct. And so people would not always respond well to that. And so as I matured, I had to learn to kind of temper that and find a way to be able to speak in a positive way or a tactful way so that I wasn't immediately putting people on guard, because that was not usually my intention. Sometimes it was, not usually. And so this could be something with communication, something like that. Do you need to modify how you're talking to people so that people perceive you the way that you intend to be perceived? Is there something here with short distance travel? Like maybe you want to travel more, take short car trips somewhere. And short distance travel usually does involve maybe some sort of car trip. So is there something here that you want to do? Is it that you want to maybe make more time to see your friends' family, your siblings, by taking these short car trips? And so that's really highlighted here for Pisces. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you. I think I might do it a little bit differently come the new year, because I'm kind of testing out the way that I'm doing this. So stay tuned. I am working on something to kind of make this a little bit easier. So anyway, this is the reading for the winter solstice. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.